Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Talk of the Trinity podcast. Things have been heating up both in pre-season and also outside in terms of we've just gone through a heat wave. We all survived in terms of the people who are in the room with us this afternoon. So congratulations to everybody. You are now part of the history books. You know, we will be talking about the heat wave of 2022 forevermore. But other things we will be talking about today, we're going to have a brief overview of what's been going on in Australia in terms of the first two Villa pre-season games. With me, Baz Barrett, as always. We are here with Mr. Trinity himself, Will Forrest. But the main part of this show is all about Mr. Aston Villa himself, Captain Marvel. We're delighted to say we're joined by Connor Sherry this afternoon. We've given it away. We're recording in the afternoon. So we've got, if my employer asks, it was during my work lunch break. But in terms of the main focus of this episode, we're going to be getting an in-depth conversation with Connor about all things Aston Villa in terms of his playing career, his fan career, anything else that we think of asking. And, you know, we're really looking forward to that great discussion we're going to be having. So thanks for coming on, Connor, this afternoon. Really appreciated. And in terms of checking us out for all the latest Villa news and updates, you can check out our Twitter page at Talk Trinity. You can go on our YouTube page for all our videos for our previous podcasts, Talk of the Trinity. Or if you just like the audio side of things, you know, you're stuck on a train. If you are, sorry to break the news to you, but you're delayed till next Tuesday. So you got to find something to do. Go on our audio providers, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Google, other ones, if you found us. You got plenty of time to search if you're stuck on one of those trains with the overhead lines gone down. Sorry about that. But without further ado, we're going to get straight over to local matters on the other side of the world in Australia. We've had a couple of friendly games since we've last been on air, although some of them were slightly less friendly than you may anticipate, especially if you're on the receiving end of a John McGinn tackle. But, you know, in terms of, I'd say for that one, Gray, you put one on Bundia. So if you're going to give something, you got to take it. But in terms of just recapping, Villa Leeds, 1-0 Villa, Villa Brisbane, 1-0 Villa again from recollection. I mean, it's been hot, so, you know, kind of the memory goes. But in terms of those first couple of games of the pre-season over in Australia after we played Walsall again, before we flew over, any particular highlights, standout moments for you, Will?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, the match winner against Leeds was a massive highlight. Danny Ings, I don't know whether you know, but I kind of like Danny Ings. He's one of my favourite Villa players. His penalty, beautiful penalty, especially after Coutinho's poor attempt, I think you'd say. But there's been some standout performances. Diego Carlos looks like an absolute monster. Everything that Connor would want to see in a centre-back partner. Buba is playing fantastically well. I don't think he's misplaced the pass since he's put on that number 44 shirt for us. It's also nice to see the youngsters coming through. Irobenham with his great link-up play with Kesler Hayden, and then, of course, Cameron Archer banging in a goal for us. He's on fire so far in all the games that he's played. I think it's just really nice in general to see all of these players getting a run out. We're seeing a lot of different formations. The 4-3-1-2 has been played, and the other formation, surprisingly, isn't the 4-3-2-1. It's the 4-2-3-1. Bailey's looking sharp in pre-season. You know, you've got Luca Din and Matty Cash who are absolutely bombing it forward and trying to join the attacks. Boubacar Kamara looks like he's doing everything that Steven Gerrard wants from a number 6. Dougie as well, getting more time further up the field. Hopefully, that means he signs a new contract. I imagine he probably would have been back at Bodymore with Carney if he wasn't potentially going to sign a new contract. But, it's 2 clean sheets as well, which I'm sure that every defender is happy with. And we've seen a couple of different captains, which gets you thinking, who is it going to be come the start of the new season? I mean, we've seen John McGinty. You'd be happy with that, Baz, obviously being a big meatball fan.
Yep.
We've seen Emi Martinez, which Dave is very happy with. And I mentioned last season, he would probably be my choice if Mings wasn't captain, because he's a world-class goalkeeper and he's won a lot of tournaments. And we've seen Mings as captain as well. But as much as I can talk about captains, being a former captain of Cotteridge Social Alliance on a Sunday morning, and you can talk about being captain, Baz, from when you had your armband running around the garden, blasting balls into the hedge. We've actually got a real-life Aston Villa captain who may be able to give us a bit more insight as to who has got the best qualities to lead the team come that first game against Bournemouth away.
There you go. An absolutely seamless link into you there, Connor. Captaincy issue. Who would you like to be captaining Villa, leading us out in that first Premier League game of the season?
The answer's Danny Ings.
I don't think it won't be Danny Ings, unfortunately, Will. But you never know. It could be. He's stays at Villa. I think so far in pre-season, I think Gerrard is probably still deciding whether who he wants to be captain. Because I know there's been a few 2 or 3 games. I know Mings was captain. I think captain Warsaw and all. And then who was captain for the league game? Oh yeah, McGinn was captain for the league game. And then Emmy from the other game recently against Aston Villa. So it's been quite interesting, but personally, I can still feel that Tyrone Mings will still be captain. I can just see it in my head still for the Bournemouth away. I know Emmy and John McGinn will be good captains as well, but I can just still see Mings just being there because I think he's still mostly more vocal on the pitch. So that kind of proves it really. If you want to be a captain, you have to every game non-stop talking to your teammates and shouting if they're not doing well, this and that. But yeah, I could still see Mings being the captain.
Yeah, I mean, shouting when things don't go well, that's just a bit like our pre-planning sessions for these podcasts that we do. But we are going to be having a full wrap-up of the Australia tour and other pre-season news in our show next week. We still have Man United to play at time of recording and then an upcoming game against Rennes before the season proper starts. But we're going to be bringing you all our thoughts, reactions to that news in the next couple of weeks, and also maybe some cheeky previews or 2 or none. Keep listening and finding out. But in terms of what you don't have to listen anymore for, you don't have to wait any longer because we got the starter out of the way. But we're here now for the main course in terms of, and because we're here with some big hitters, in terms of wrestling pylons, I'm tapping out in terms of having to leave this to the big guns to deal with, because now we're going to be having our main interview, our main chat with Conor Sherry himself. And so Mr. Aston Villa, who's that needs to be up against, Mr. Trinity. So I'm passing over to my co-host, Mr. Forrest here, for his initial introduction and thoughts. And then we're just going to sit back and talk, reflect, and hear for all things Connor. So I'm going to sit back for a change and then pass it over and just chip in as and when. I'm going to see on the other side of the fence. Really looking forward to this.
Well, I'm going to apologise in advance to all of the usual listeners who prefer Barrett's slightly calmer brummy tones than my proper brummy tones. But I was thinking introduction. I mean, you can't really introduce Mr. Aston Villa. Mr. Aston Villa, the name, Conor Sherry introduces himself. But I want to have a go anyway. Kenny Swain, Colin Gidman, Earl Barrett, Fernando Nelson, Gary Charles, one of my personal favourites, along same sort of level of love as Danny Ings, Luke Young. You remember, Baz, how much I loved Luke Young.
Good player.
Mark Delaney, yep. Alan Hudson, Matty Cash, we have had some fantastic right backs, but I think the right back whose name really is synonymous with Aston Villa at the moment is Conor Sherry, captain of Aston Villa Ability Counts, playing their new season at Portway Stadium. Pre-season is underway. I know that you said you've had some sessions, but you've got a grueling session coming up later this week, a 3-hour one. Obviously, many highlights, Con, playing for Aston Villa, and you're living everybody's dream. I mean, Baz and myself have talked as youngsters, even growing up in the pub. We talk now about what it would be like to wear that Villa shirt, know you're representing the club, being captain as well of your boyhood team. There's not many players who have done that. I mean, Gabby Agbon-Lahore has. How much he loved the Villa, I don't know. Jack Grealish obviously has as well. And you are doing that at the moment. One thing that you share with all of them as well, which is a nice little trio of things, is you've scored the winner against Birmingham City. Mate, you're living so many dreams. But before we get to the latter of those glory afternoons at Moseley, where you're scoring the winner against the Blues and you're taking the game to West Brom and absolutely smashing and stacking them, which I'm a massive fan of, obviously. How did all of this come about for you? How did you go about joining Aston Villa? Did you go to a soccer school and they saw you and they thought, well, we've got a player on our hands here, we don't want to let him go? Was it that you played for a local youth team and they saw you? Tell us a little bit about how your journey initiated, if you don't mind.
Okay. So first, I just want to say thank you for having me on. As always, I really appreciate it. So I think when I was 5 years old, I was still like at primary school, and I just didn't really think what was my best hobbies. I didn't really have a lot of interest. So I think one day at the primary school, one of the Aston Villa Foundation coaches named Nigel McCrow, and he's the manager for the disability Villa team. So he was doing like a few soccer tours sessions like at my school, and he had a look what I was doing, like doing with the skills, learning how to, pass the ball to people and run with the ball. And then after he saw that with me, I think he came over to me or one of the teachers and said, what's this kid's name? Because he seems like he's really good and got a little bit of good talent in him. And they said his name's Connor. He's 5 years old. And yeah, I think ever since after that, then that's when he said to me at one stage, would you like to come up to the Villa Academy in Villa Park to have a little trial sessions? And I thought to myself, okay, I'll have a little go. Because like when I was younger, because obviously I had like autism and I think I had like social anxiety as well, so I didn't really go out a lot of places on my own home. So that was the first big challenge for me, to actually go out somewhere that I didn't really know much. Yeah, and I just remember day one, went to the session and everyone was really welcoming. They wasn't really anxious towards me. They just came over to me and just started settling me in well. And yeah, I had a few sessions with them. And then I think I just felt it straight away. I thought, this is really great because it's going to help me to socialise more, to feel confident in myself, even to play like football, and if that would be my interest, like more in the future, of which it did eventually. So yeah, so ever since after that, that's when it sort of started really. So I've been at the Villa now for like 17 or 18 years. And it's a very, very long time. Because I started in 2005, now I'm like 22. So yeah, it's really helped me a lot. And I just want to say a big thank you to Villa and my coach Nigel for helping me throughout the years and becoming the player who I am now and what I'm like in the community at Villa.
That is a hell of a long time being committed to anything. I struggle to to commit to eating a 4-litre tub of ice cream nowadays. I can do it. I don't, whether you heard the last episode, Con, there is a reference to that. We talked a lot about ice cream.
No, I was saying in terms of a tub of ice cream around you, Will, there's no chance it's lasting that amount of years. It's not lasting that amount of minutes.
Mate, it'd have been gone quicker than if you'd have left it outside in the heat on Tuesday. Yep. Let me tell you that. Yep. 17 years, though, getting back to you, Con, is an incredible amount of time. It's a lot of devotion to a sport that you can fall out of love with at times. You can have some incredible lows, but you can also reach the highest of highs. And I'm sure you've had many highs during that time. You probably had more highs than any recent Villa player, if we're being completely honest. You know, we've been a bit yo-yo, haven't we? But one time in particular that I would imagine would be one of the greatest moments of your life. And I don't want to put words into your mouth, because if it isn't, you can say it wasn't. But when Nigel, or whoever your coach was at the time, turned around to you and said, Con, do you know what, mate? From now on, we're going to give you that captain's armband. What was that experience like? What were the emotions that were going through you at the time? How proud are you to be Villa captain? Is it as good as every young boy's dream or young girl's dream when you actually get given that responsibility?
I think one of the sessions when I was coming into the building before training started, like my coach Nigel, he pulled me over and said, "Can't have a chat with you." I thought, oh, okay. Have I done something good or bad? And then I said, no, it's really, really good. I thought, oh, okay then. So yes, he was basically having a little chat with me saying, as you know, that you've been here now for like 17 or 18 years, and how well you've done to represent the club, and also you're a big Villa fan, which I am. It just said it to me. It just said, would you like to be club captain for your team? And with me, at first, it was like a big, massive shock to me, and I was so like excited, and my feelings. Honestly, I love this club so much. It means a lot to me, and especially putting this shirt on when you're playing matches is absolutely unbelievable. Especially being captain, like greatest feeling ever. And now I've been captain now about 3 or 4 years, and now I've been captain again for this season as well, coming up. So yeah, it's a massive responsibility, and I really dedicated to my role, because I really like trying my best to motivate and to inspire younger generation will be coming up through the ranks, like what I did. So I remember once when I was in the adults, which I am now in the team, and there was a few people on the under 16s or 15s, so it was a big step up for them. But I just knew in my head they can adapt to it very quickly, which they did. So I went back one side in training session. I think there wasn't quite understand what they were doing in one of the training sessions drills, and I just explained to them slowly how it will get on, and obviously it works. And even in matches, if they feel like if they're not playing well, I can like motivate them more and say, no, you can do it. Like, I believe in you. You've got the talent. Because you won't be here otherwise. You don't have the talent. So for me, saying these kind of words, it really, really helps them in their progression or their personal level. So yeah, good really.
It sounds like you're a cracking teammate and a great leader for those lads, and a role model for them really as well. So, I mean, thinking about role models over the year, as you know, I've got a soft spot for a current Villa player who's a bit of a role model for me. Baz as well has got an affinity for our current Scottish number 7. I mean, Dave as well, as you know, loves Emi Martinez. We've got Liam at the Qatar Lions, who is absolutely obsessed with Anwar El Ghazi. Russell hasn't really told us, actually. That's a question for next time with Russell, who his favourite player is. I'm sure it's Danny Ings anyway. But
I think it's just to priorities, getting those Hawaiian shirts in order. That's a full-time job in itself.
I tell you what, though, those Hawaiian shirts are very snazzy, are very smart. I'm even considering getting one for when I'm down Polesworth later this summer. But looking at that role model, Con, and how you are a role model for people, who were your role models growing up, and who were the players that you've looked at and you thought, I want to take the best bits of them and put it into me as a person or me as a captain. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a captain that you've seen down the Villa, Jack Grealish, Tyrone Mings. They've got their own best bits, and they've probably got their worst bits. Jack's worst bit is that he left, obviously. Tyrone, a fantastic leader, a friend of yours as well.
Yeah, he is now, yes.
Reaching out to you. But are there any other players that you've wanted to take the best of them on board, and that's helped you to become an even better footballer and person?
I've had two players in mind, but they're both captains. They're not even, they're both captains, and it really helped me a lot, like on the pitch and off it as well. I think firstly, Gareth Barry.
Oh mate, what a choice! What an absolute! I love Gareth Barry. I can forgive him for his treachery, but what a great choice.
Yeah, he is unbelievable captain. And I remember I was mascot with him actually at Everton years ago, and I had his name at the back of my shirt, and it was fantastic to be with him on the pitch. And he even remembered me the next day after that match as well, actually. He said, oh, I know this kid named Connor. And I was like, mascot with him. Thought, oh, wow. And that was unbelievable. And I learned a lot as well. Like, I analysed what he was like as a person off the pitch, and also on the pitch when he's leading the team by example. So I've just kind of learned his trade, and yeah, worked really well. And then especially as well, John Terry, another one.
Oh, John Terry, yeah, of course.
Another fantastic leader in the game. And I have actually met Terry a few times as well. And I can tell you a funny story actually about me and him. I think one day I went to Bodymore Heath training ground, and I was waiting for the players to have autographs with them. And I remember at one point John Terry came in his car. I think he was the only one who come out of his car actually and signed in autographs. And he recognised me straight away because he didn't even know me at the time. He recognised me and said, oh, I saw you in the Villa programme the other game when your team was on it. And I thought, yeah, that's right. We had a competition, and it became second place or first place. And he said, keep up the great work, what you do, and all the best. And that's what he said to me. Yeah, he's another nice person as well, actually. Yeah.
It's fantastic to hear that these players as well have taken the time to talk to you, especially when some of them, not Gareth Barry, but John Terry got a lot of bad press at times during his career.
Yeah.
But he's always been an advocate for the Villa, probably Chelsea a little bit more, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's nice that those players have taken the time to talk to you, and that it's had that lasting impression on you, and it's helped you grow not only as a captain, as a Villa player, as a legend, but also as a person as well. So that's fantastic to hear. Now, you may have noticed that there's been a little bit of a switch up in formation. I'm not sure what that switch up is yet, but on my screen, Con is now through the centre, Baz is out on the wing, and I'm floating like Philippe Coutinho. Don't worry, it's still the Connor Sherry special, and we've got the main man here with us. But talking about you being the main man, there's got to have been other influences on your life, and we're obviously mates outside of Talk of the Trinity. Very lucky to have got to know you from you coming on the show initially, and I think it's fair to say that your mom is a very big influence on you as well as a person And as I imagine as a player as well, you seem like a very close-knit family. What influence and what importance has she played on you being a Villa player, if you don't mind me asking that?
Massively. My mum is an absolute role model for me. Because, like, growing up, I'll be honest, I didn't really have a good childhood growing up. Because I had a birth that was like alcoholic and violent person, so it didn't really help me growing up as much. I think that's probably why I wasn't really confident enough in myself, and a lot of negative stuff. And it was only, I can only trust like my mom, my nan, and my granddad, and they was the only one really in my family who can only look up to. Like, so yeah, that was a bit challenging for me, but now things have gone better since after my childhood. So I just hope, with me, I try to think about things for the future. Like, I want to try to get things from the past, but the past was good. So I want to try and focus more on what I've got now in my life. So, you know, I've got a stepdad now who leads up through the world to me as well. Obviously, I've got a brother, got a stepsister. Yeah, but great family now I've got, and I really appreciate it a lot. But yeah, back to my mum. As I said before, she's been absolute well to me, and I think in football, massive, because she's always come to watch me if I had any Sunday matches or even training sessions as well. She's like trying to help out the coach to like what do you call it? You know, when you give food out to people and drinks, if their kids playing football and they come and watch and have food and drink. So my mum used to do that to help the coach out. And then we used to have a big, massive awards night as well at the Holt Suite years ago. And that was the best one ever, because we had David Bradley, the actor,
Nice.
to give out the trophies and medals to my team. And yeah, and I remember I was there, my granddad was there with me, very proud because he wore a suit for it. And another picture of him actually, and really a powerful image. I could always remember that great feeling that I had before there. And even my mum, like, my mum knows, like, she always is proud of me. Whatever I do in my future, even in football, she, you know, supports me every time when she's on Twitter tweeting stuff out. Good luck stuff for that match. Hope you do well with your team. But yeah, cheers, mum. Never knows. That's what I always say. And yeah, and even when we go to watch the Villa matches as well, like, because like in the past as well, we obviously disability football, it wasn't really that much popular in the Villa community. Like, I just felt like we wasn't really representing Villa much. So, but obviously since a few years came on, it's like now, massive difference, because I feel like I'm definitely more part of the club itself, because, you know, we get new training wear every season now. They get a 20% off discount at the Villa shop as well, which is good. And yeah, I just get random Villa fans who I don't even know, and they'll obviously they follow me on Twitter, and they always come up to me and say, "Oh, are you Connor who plays for the Villa disability team?" But yeah, that's me. And it's like, with me, when I hear things like that, it's like massive starstruck, because I just feel like I'm on a proper big celebrity at Villa. And because what I normally do when I meet people on Villa, I always have a little good chat to them about Villa stuff, or even other different stuff. And yeah, and that's that. We have like pictures as well, and I don't mind doing that. I make people happy, and even as well, I've been signing photos as well. I'll be giving out to some of the fans. I don't know if you think, I think you got one of them. Right?
We have, yes, we have.
So yeah, I'm still doing that now, because I'm still getting requests from people, which is still nice. Yeah, other stuff as well. So,
you know, it sounds fantastic, and it sounds like you've got a fantastic family who you've got the whole 100% and more support and love from. And you know, you're a credit to them as well as a young man, Con. And I was actually going to ask you about what it feels like to have fans coming up to you at Villa games and asking for your autograph, because I'm yet to experience that, to be honest with you, and Baz is yet to experience it as well.
I did have somebody ask for my photo once, but unfortunately it was the police in the identity parade lineup.
Yeah, it doesn't really count. To be fair though, I had a picture of a fan not that long ago. It was Jake, my lad, and he said, "Do I have to take it with you?" I said, "Yeah." But apart from that, I think Baz has heard somebody shout Wally Hopkins at the games, so maybe that was from Talk of the Trinity.
Yep. Our influence is spreading bit by bit.
But no, it must be a fantastic feeling, you know, having those people recognise you. And I was going to say, you're right. We didn't really know about ability counts and all this other type of football that there is, because there is a lot of different football nowadays. With your walking football, your ability counts football. We've got representation in the LGBTQ plus community as well. And we've obviously got a big women's team at the Villa, and we've got the men's team, which has been a great example for people to follow, such as yourself. But I wanted to turn to something else, which I noticed that you've done earlier this year, I believe. I put your name into Google. I put Conor Sherry, and as I put Conor Sherry in, it came up with Aston Villa, and I thought, that's the man. I know, that's my mate Con, right? And there's articles in there about you and how you played for Villa, and there's a lot of bedtime reading there for us all to do. However, the one thing that really drew my attention was earlier this year, March. It was for the Aston Villa Foundation and also for Sandwell West Birmingham Trusts. You raised an awful lot of money for those charities. I think you raised £480 and you were aiming for £200. The plus percentage of how much extra you'd raised was a phenomenal figure, though, because of my old age, I do forget what that figure exactly was, but it was around about 98% or so. It was a zip wire, wasn't it, if I remember correctly?
I'm still currently waiting for it at the minute. Still haven't doing it.
I was gonna say, have you done it yet? And are you still sharing those donation pages? Because it would be good if you could, and if you do share it on your Twitter, because I know you're active on there, we'd be happy to share it for you. But as you haven't done it yet, that slightly alters my question, as you can imagine, because I was going to ask what that was like. What are you thinking about leading up to doing it? What are your thoughts about that? Are you nervous? Is it as nervous as pulling on a Villa kit for the first time? Is it as nervous as putting a ball down on a penalty spot and looking a keeper dead in the eyes thinking, I'm going to Panenka you here, mate? Or is it just, mate, it's a zip wire, I do them every day type of a thing?
With me, I'm never scared of... Wow, the funny thing is actually first, like, I would never go on the plane, but the thing is, I love heights, so yeah, it does sound strange, but you know. But with sit-wise, I've done sit-wise before quite a few times, so I quite enjoy doing it, to be honest. And the reason why I've decided to do this, hopefully soon, number one, like raise money for Villa Foundation, like for these charities, and also for the NHS, because NHS means a lot to me, because I think a year ago now, unfortunately my nan sadly passed away to stage 4 lung cancer, and that was a massive, I'm not gonna lie, it was a massive impact on my life at the time, because my nan was an extremely massive part of my life. She meant a lot to me, especially in my bad days in childhood, and then also like at the current time before she passed. She was always there for me, non-stop. You know, if I got upset about something or if I've done something really good, we always say to me, big hug and say, "Oh, I'm really proud of you." Like, yeah, just yeah. I still find it hard a little bit now. I know it's here, but still have my days and just still think in my head that I wish she was still here to come see these things that I've been doing. Even she used to call me every day and night just to check if it was all right. All that stuff, and yeah, so I know she's there up there watching me, which I know. Yeah, she's like another inspiration really for me.
No, it's nice to hear. I mean, Baz and myself know what it's like to have grandparents who are her inspirations to us, and of course, the time is a great healer, but you've got all the time in the world, and there'll always be that piece that's missing. But moving on from that, if you don't mind. So your family have been a massive support, as we mentioned with Anne and with your mum and you know your stepdad, your siblings as well. Villa have helped you tackle your social anxiety. I mean, to the point that, as you say, you're there at matches, taking photographs with fans, you're having chit chats with them, you know, and signing out autographs, which we, as I say, have been grateful recipients of. But one of the big questions, and potentially the biggest, I've got two questions for you, but I'm gonna go hard with the biggest question. This is a question that I know all Villa fans need the answer to. You can't skirt over it. You can't say, "No, mate, I don't know." You've got to answer it for me, okay? Is that a deal?
Yeah, that's a deal.
Yeah? Okay. The big question is, how absolutely amazing did it feel to score the winner against Birmingham City when you're the captain of Aston Villa? You've got to tell us about the goal, tell us about the emotion, and tell us how many people have brought you dinner and drinks because of it.
So I think it was nearly towards the end of the second half, and I think we were losing at the time. I think it was 2-1. So I thought, crap, I need to do something right now, because if I don't do something right now, we'll probably lose the game, and I just hate losing against Blues because it's happened before and I wasn't happy. But yeah, I think I was on the right hand side as normal in right back, and I think one of my friends on the left done a great crossover to me. I kind of like chest it first time, put it on the ground with my foot, and then I took about one or two players on, and I saw the opportunity when their goalie wasn't in the middle properly of his goal. So I thought, I've got an idea if he's doing that. So I think I kind of nutmegged two Blues players in like fast speed on the ground, and it went in bottom left corner. I was like, I literally thought, sod it. I like do a lot of running, celebrating with my teammates, hitting in the air, go, yes, get in, especially towards the Blues manager as well, which I did say sorry to after. I just couldn't help myself with the emotions. And honestly, all my teammates literally jumping on me because we all thought, oh, that's it, that's our title. But yeah, it was such a great feeling. And I think after the game as well, I had non-stop on Facebook, well, my teammates on Facebook, congratulations to Big Connor himself scoring the winner against Blues. So yeah, it was a great feeling, honestly.
Mate, it sounds like an iconic Aston Villa goal. And you know who it reminds me a little bit of in regards to marauding fullbacks against Birmingham City? It sounds like it's got a pinch of Alan Hutton to it, but a bit better than Hutton's goal, if I'm honest, from the way that you're describing it. And Hutton's goal is no easy feat to beat. It was fantastic. I think I remember watching it in the Cadbury Club and thinking, my days, where's he running to? And the commentator as well said, didn't he? He's running all the way to Moseley. He's probably running to Mosley.
I was there when it happened.
Yeah. Well, he's obviously running to Mosley then to see you go and bang that even better goal against the Blues team. But so I've got one question for you. I said, I've actually got two. I thought of another one. How good is this on the spot questions? And then Baz is going to come out with a list of his own potentially then.
Yeah, well, got you.
So I'm, as you know, I'm a coach of a kids football team, but you've got a bigger audience here than the 6 or 7 or 13 or so kids that I coach. What advice would you give to any player who wanted to achieve their dreams of being a footballer, whether that's semi-professional or whether that's a professional footballer for any team except for West Brom? What advice would you give them? What do you think are the key, like 2 or 3 bits of information that they need to give them that motivation?
Okay, so I think probably number 1, dedication. If you really want to succeed in football career, you definitely need to go for it straight away. 100%. Play your part throughout the game, 110%, and impress the coaches 24/7 in training, also in matches, and that's another key part as well. And then probably also, if I give something like advice to one of the younger captains, I could help them out with advice saying, you know, if you can, try and be more motivated with your teammates, and especially if you want to chat to your manager as well when you're on the pitch, and just you know, what should I do more as a captain? And I just literally just said the same thing with, you know, be motivated as much as you can be throughout the game, because if you don't be motivated enough in the games, you won't really win a lot of matches if you don't have a lot of communication between your teammates. So that's another key thing as well to have. And then I think as well, probably for midfielders, I say always be on your toes no matter what, because if you're not on your toes, the opposition players just find it really easy to go past you. So I would say try to be more aggressive, and what Steven Gerrard always says, because that's what Gerrard likes in a attacking formation, to be more aggressive, you go towards them to win the ball back. And yeah, that's what I would say on these types of things.
I think that's great advice, to be honest with you, and it's definitely something that I'll be sharing with the lads at Cadbury's, and I'll be telling them exactly who that's come from as well, which I'm sure they'll take on board a lot more than anything that I would say. Let's be honest, unless I'm bribing them with a chocolate bar. So my last question links in nicely to the motivation. Obviously, as we touched upon before, pre-season is underway. We know that the Villa season's is just around the corner, as I assume, and I don't want to make an ass out of myself or out of you, but I assume that your season will be starting within the next month or so. So talking about motivation, what's your motivation for the season? What are your goals? What are your goals as a team? What are your goals as an individual? And if you score against West Brom, will you dedicate it to me, please? And if you score against Arsenal, will you rub it in Baz's face?
Okay, so yeah, as I said before the podcast, we're literally starting straight away now with pre-season. It's been quite intense, which is good for me, because I want to definitely improve more for this season as a right back and to improve myself in the games. So that's been quite good as well. And then my targets would definitely trying to win the league. That has always been my aim for every season, win the league, because we haven't really done that now for the last few years. So, which is a bit of a concerning point, because in the past we were non-stop winning trophies every year, but then for some reason it kind of faded. So I thought to some that can't be happening, because we're a massive club and we deserve to be winning a lot of trophies. And that's what I always say to my teammates when it's like the first game of the season, because I put them in the team and say, you know what, guys, we need to do it 100% this season. Because if we don't, obviously we try again, but we just need to be more aggressive, winning more matches, and work as hard as a team as possible. And then as well, coming up, I might be going to Fulham's training ground in August for a disability adult competition. So I'll be looking forward to that as well. So that will be good. And then obviously, as you said about Albion, I can tell you a story about that. We were playing against them in the semi-final. I don't know if you've seen them pictures when I was at Portway. Because we have a photographer now who takes pictures of our team, which is really good.
Yeah.
And I remember one day I put them in the team huddle. I said how it was. I said, like, we know how much we don't like Albion. So if you want to be in the final that badly, we need to absolutely go for it with a lot of determination, motivating, everything. And you know what? Ever since my team talk, we won 3-0 and kept a clean sheet. I know I had a great challenge as well. There was one opposition player from Albion, but you're not having me this time because you nearly injured me. So there was the same player. So I thought, you know what? I am going for you this time. So bang, got him on the ground, got the ball back to myself, running. And I think I set up my teammate as well, and he scored from after my challenge. So yeah.
Nice. That's what I like to hear, mate. That is exactly what I like to hear. Well, it's been fantastic chatting to you and you sharing those stories with us. You've given us a lot of insight into you as a person, which we're grateful of. Thank you very much. And it's been lovely to hear about how you've gone from that little 5-year-old playing football at an Aston Villa Foundation training camp at the school. I did the same at 13 and missed an open goal in front of one of the coaches. For some reason, the only team ever to talk to me was Shrewsbury. I'm not on your level, unfortunately. And Baz, I think he's in my best days of probably playing invisible football at Bourneville, potentially. But
well, it's when you went on a 4-match losing streak in the Invisible Football League. That's when things got a little concerning.
But no, it's been great talking to you and hearing how you've gone from a 5-year-old up until this 22-year-old. That it's helped shape the person that you've become. You're an inspiration to Villa fans and to people around the world. You genuinely are, and I mean that wholeheartedly. In regards to everything that you've overcome, such as just your social anxieties as well, being able to chat to fans and dedicate your time to them. You know, it takes the big person to do that, to spend even a minute or two talking to somebody else. You know, you can make somebody's day. Hopefully the role models that you look up to continue to be a shining light for you, as you are for younger Villa players as well. But on that note, it's been absolutely fantastic having you starring on this episode. We wish you all the best for the coming season and for the rest of your Villa career. I'm gonna carry on now, and I'm gonna leave the last little bit to Baz actually for a change, because we've swapped this round, haven't we? So we might as well.
So I was going to say, in terms of, you thought you'd had enough, but you can never get enough of the Conor Sherry chat. I actually have a couple more questions, so we can take this.
Yes.
We can take this into extra time. If they're thinking, oh no, we don't want this to end. It's not going to end because I got a few more. So if you don't mind, Conor, we've been talking about in terms of how you've made your name as the marauding fullback. All the great moments you've talked about on the field. If there was a fairy godmother or a genie out of a bottle or whatever mythical device you could think of came to you and said you could play any position on the field in the starting 11, would you still play fullback or would you play somewhere else?
Okay, so firstly, at the start of my career, funny enough, I used to be a striker, believe it or not, and I did score about 13 goals. So that wasn't too bad. But I thought at times I wasn't really enjoying it that much anymore in striker, because literally all you get to do, the players have to pass the ball down and they have to rely on you to score the goals. And I knew that was a little bit of pressure, but I still managed to do it. But I just felt like I need the ball more. I felt like I want to create my own style. And set up my teammates instead, and also sometimes does now. Yeah, so ever since after that, my coach told me at one point for a training session, said, "Oh, Con, would you like to try a different position?" I thought, "Okay, what position?" And he said a right back. I thought that makes sense actually because I'm always right-footed, so that really helped me a lot now. So because I always rely on it, but I can never trust my left foot. I'm so bad on my left. So yeah, so ever since after that, I've just been a right back ever since. Yeah, really improved my game.
There you go, sticking it right back. And then one final question. We promised this time. Apart from Villa Park, obviously, best stadium in the world ever. If you could play it or pick to play in one stadium in world football, which stadium would you pick?
I think definitely Wembley Stadium, 100% Wembley, because I've actually been there for quite a few times now to watch Villa, and then also watch an England game against Belgium. I remember when Danny Wilbeck scored that goal, I think it was. So yeah, and I always thought to myself, you know what? One day it'd be really nice if my team was playing some kind of cup final at Wembley Stadium, and have a few family and friends come along. That would be absolutely amazing. Honestly.
Yep. There we go. That would be a great moment if we get there. And speaking of great moments, just echo what Will said in terms of it's been really great having you, really inspirational listening to your story and your achievements playing for Villa and also in life as well. So from me personally, thank you very much for coming on and talking to us this afternoon. It's been really great having you on, and hopefully we'll have you on again soon in terms of more things Villa to talk about. And speaking of more things Villa, you can find out all the things that are going on with Villa on our Twitter page at Talk Trinity, where we're keeping you up to date with the latest friendly news, transfers in and out, rumours, how much Will loves Danny Ings, still unhumanly high amount so far, but we'll keep an eye on that. We've got some polls going on as well. So check us out there, likes, retweets, subscribes, all the other ways you can interact on Twitter. Really appreciate that. You can check us out for our visual features on our YouTube channel at Talk of the Trinity, so you can see us in our full resplendent glory there and check out some of our past episodes and past guests as well. Or if you prefer the audio version, you can listen to us on your commute, on your travels, on your delayed trains, wherever you may be, on our audio providers, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Google, other ones as well. So before I pass you over to Mr. Trinity for his final thoughts, say thank you very much, everybody, for listening, watching, however you're viewing this content. We really do appreciate it, and we'll be back with you again soon.
Yeah, just to reiterate again, a massive thank you to everybody who has joined us to listen to this episode. We're getting to about 100 downloads a week, which is, for us, it's amazing to think, considering that our first lot of predicted downloads was always 0 for about the first month or 2 months or so. So it is very much appreciated. We've got some really great episodes lined up. Will they be able to top this one? I don't know. But the episodes we've got lined up, we're going to be doing a Premier League kit review. We just need Villa to release that new away kit for that one, and a couple of other teams who have been a bit slow. And let me tell you, there are some great kits and there are some bloody awful ones. We're going to have our Aston Villa preview that Baz and I do, our Premier League preview as well. But at the end of the transfer window, and we're going to break this news for you now and get the confirmation, I hope, unless he does me dirty. We're going to have an Aston Villa Premier League predictor just for the Villa on how they're going to do this year, which will hopefully involve Liam, Russell, Dave, Baz, me, and hopefully, Connor, you're going to come back for that, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right. It's on record now, so you've got to come back. So there we go. You never know. We might bring on a few other people. We've got other guests of the show, Gareth and Paddy, who have previously been on. James has been on before. So I'm sure we'll be inviting him back at some point. But until we do, the last words, as always, are cheers, Tar. Thank you very much. I'm Villa till I die. Baz is Villa till he dies. Khan is most definitely Mr. Aston Villa all the way. Cheers, Tar. Thank you very much. Up the Villa.